This is a 1940 gym, and apparently it was just for the ladies. I don't see any dude. What is this workout exactly? I have heard of this. I always thought this was a joke, but this is a real thing. This little rolling thing. What was the science behind this? This is like the same logic behind, like, if you shock your abs, it'll give you abs, right? Well, I think that does. What in the hell is going on? Who came up with this, and does it actually do something? I feel like in the universe where this did actually get you yoked, a whole lot more people would be yoked. You just gotta stand there while this machine vibrates you.
A 100-year-old man is standing trial for crimes he allegedly committed as an SS guard. Due to privacy laws, he's only being identified as Joseph S.
How are they still finding these dudes? Oh, Argentina. Every time I see this happen, I think of this one old Netflix documentary. Oh, it's not that old, but it's called The Devil Next Door. It's literally like the exact same thing, but it takes you through the whole trial. It's pretty crazy. This was an ADHD study from the University of Central Florida. This kid was supposed to watch a math video versus watching Star Wars. It's the same student, and it's a 10-minute time lapse. Well, there you go. We should probably start teaching Star Wars in class. Man, this kid is loving it. Maybe if you just, like, ask him, you know, if we had 3 Skywalkers and you take away 2. Wait, is this joke gonna make sense? This is the story of Bob Fletcher, who took care of the farms of 3 Japanese-American families while they were interned during WW2. He kept their farms running and paid their taxes and mortgages. Fletcher rejected the trend of exclusion and was shot at for supporting them. Even after the war, he continued to help them. You know how many movies could be based around, like, WW2? Like, there were just so many micro stories that happened. I guess that's why Hollywood still makes movies about this time period. There's just a lot of material. Speaking of movies, this is how they advertise movies in Japan. This is for a film called The Tomorrow War. I would be flipping out. This shit ain't funny, actually. Gonna traumatize my kid in the back seat. I was already thinking about leaving him and never coming back, but now you've confirmed it with all the nightmares he's gonna have. No, but overall, we need to be doing this in the US. A female falcon was equipped with a satellite tracking system in South Africa. Before migrating to Finland, she flew over 10,000 kilometers in 42 days, an average of 230 kilometers per day. What's even crazier is that it was almost in a perfectly straight line. And then how did this thing know to just stay clear of the Sahara Desert? That's gotta be like some instinctual stuff maybe it learned as a child. Like, as soon as it started approaching Sudan, it immediately goes towards the Red Sea, and then it stays just towards the more livable area of, like, Egypt. I also am kind of curious why it avoids the Mediterranean. Oh, I'm assuming so it can, like, continue to eat, and that's probably... It doesn't want to go fishing. So it just stays off any sort of water. It seems like the longest journey over water is somewhere here in the Baltic Sea. She was already close enough. She wasn't going to make this journey around. She's going straight to Helsinki. Imagine just being in South Africa and being like, I think I'm going to fly to Finland today. All the while perfectly avoiding the anti-aircraft some of these nations have. The evolution of whales. So this mammal goes out from the land and goes back into the ocean, and I'm assuming it's slowly gonna lose its, it's gonna slowly lose its limbs. I had no idea whales evolved from something that was on land before. How is this happening? I get that we evolved from something off the sea, but you can't just keep going back and forth. My brain is not ready to handle all that information, so it turns into this weird seal sort of thing. That's a terrifying seal sort of thing, actually. Wait, no, is that the actual thing? What whale looks like that? The Dordon? We're out here scared of sharks. I think we should be freaked out of whales. This random elk. Okay, speaking of whales. All right, so this is clearly the thing whales evolved from. Maybe the elk and whales have a common ancestor. That'd be crazy. That thing looks as big as a whale, or at least close to it. That's kind of a terrifying sound. I feel like I would use that in like a horror film. Imagine you hear that just like in the middle of darkness. Oh, hell no. The Squid Game creator wrote the show in 2009, but was rejected by studios for 10 years. He once had to stop writing the script, plus sell his 675 laptop due to money struggles. Today, it is #1 in 90 countries and set to become the most watched show in Netflix history. This is literally why you should never give up on your dreams. Especially if you're out here like writing scripts for televisions and movies. You just don't know the trends in like 10 years. How many times have you heard of like a director sitting on a script for 20, maybe even 30 years? You just gotta wait for the stars to align, baby. I don't know why I added baby.
Chainmail might be really good at stopping slashes, but how is it if you get stabbed? Here it is without the armor.
Oh.
Pretty easy. Here it is with the armor.
Whoa.
A lot harder. And here it is with armor and padding. A big cut, a little cut.
That's still gonna give him some CTE, probably. Definitely will shave off a couple years at the end of his life, but he'll survive the moment. The year is 1900, and we are in Paris, France, on one random afternoon. Obviously, we've had some colorization going on. This is crazy. Wait till we can, like, start to make these images 3D. I bet you they actually could make this 3D, like, weirdly. Oh, is he going up into the Eiffel Tower? I thought I saw a mini explosion there for a second, but that's like the exposure being thrown out of whack. Yeah, that's strange. Okay, I'd prefer if you didn't go up this. I wanted to like people watch. Dude, I would love to do that. I've done this. There was a spot where, yeah, like I used to like float random boats. It was not Paris, France, I'll tell you that, but that's with toy boats was fun. The amount of things that will take place here in just like the next 100 years is just mind-boggling, and these people have no idea. Everyone's so fancy. Why aren't we fancy like this anymore? This is the world's largest diesel engine. It is 44 feet tall, 90 feet long, and they make them in Finland. This is probably what that eagle was trying to see, this massive engine. You heard about it all the way in South Africa. Like, I gotta see it for myself. This is usually used for container ships. Oh, they have to use this huge crane thing to just lift it up. It's 2,300 tons. That'd be quite the sight. This is a solar panel in Saudi Arabia to help guide the lost to water sources. I don't exactly see where the water source is, but I guess that we're just gonna take their word for it. Is it that often that people get like lost in the Arabian desert? That kind of seems like one of the last places in the world you want to be lost in. The size difference between a husky versus a wolf. I have never seen a wolf actually this big. Every wolf that I've seen like at a zoo or something usually is pretty much just the size of a dog. Where are they making these gigantic dogs at though? Like, I've seen pictures of the internet of them, but why haven't I seen one in real life? Why can't I buy one? Like, I feel pretty confident that I can take a dog, but when you introduce this idea, this concept to my head that wolves can be this huge, yeah, I don't know anymore. Especially because like you gotta fight a pack of wolves too if you in like Alaska or something. Like, how are you gonna fight 12? How skyscrapers are cleaned after dust storms in Dubai. They just send them down like SpiderMan status. Why isn't there a Dubai Spider-Man? Have they done that in like the comics yet? I feel like he'd have a lot of fun there. Imagine him like gliding through the skyscrapers in the middle of a sandstorm. That's something he's never experienced in New York. This man is apparently about to do a front flip from a plank position. I'm good. I am good. He's got to have so much upper body strength to be able to pull that off. Why do I feel like there's immediately like a huge group of people going, oh! I can feel the vibe. People running down the street screaming. At least they better be, honestly. This was impressive. This is what a Neanderthal would look like in a modern human suit. I don't know why I said human. We're both humans. There's just a little different human right here. Why you got that knife? This is in some museum in Germany. I've always thought, like, what if the Neanderthals were just kind of still around? Like, still like a third of the population were all Neanderthals. Why do I feel like that'd be pretty chaotic? Is that fucked up towards Neanderthals? I don't even know. Can I get canceled for being anti-Neanderthal? This is referred to as the guts of New York. I really do not like that word, guts, and I don't like that we are using it to describe city infrastructure. There's a lot going on under the surface down there. This is why I've heard like of like underground cities in New York, like of a bunch of people just like living under the ground, literally. I'm down to explore some of those one day. This is called a mouse deer, and it is the size of a rabbit. It has hooves and can be found in Africa and Asia. Is it not mind-blowing to anybody else that like you can literally go on the internet and see an animal that you never knew existed? Like, how are we not talking about some of this stuff? A mouse deer? I just recently found out that ligers are actually a thing. I always thought that was like a 2004 joke. There's also something called a Tygon. I literally don't even know if this is a fake Wikipedia page. Like, I honestly kind of refuse to believe it. Look how massive these things are. Almost 1,000 pounds. It's called Hercules. All these houses are connected by one giant pool. These are some rich people over here, you can already tell. But it's all fun and games until someone takes a shit in the lazy room. Someone converted a van into a home, and now they work and live here remotely. How big is this van? At first I thought they were using mirrors to make it look larger. You didn't buy a van, my dude. This is a bus. I've never seen no van this large before. Or was it like a van that you built like a cabin around? I get so mad that I just can't build things. Anyone jealous of like all our dads that can just build stuff? I'm such a pussy. This is apparently the van that it was built in, but I don't think it's that big. Were they using like a wide angle lens? I guess I could see it. This has got to be the front seat where he's standing, maybe. These are knife grinders in France sometime during the 1900s. They would lay face down after being hunched over all day to save their backs. They're also encouraged to bring their dogs to keep them company and also act like heaters to keep them warm. I can't tell if this seems like a pretty nice job to be able to bring your dog and lay here all day, or at least for part of the day, or just a horrible beautiful job. Like, I'm pretty sure I could also just turn into a hunchback. Hunchback of Notre Dame. This must have been how he was created. This is the world's biggest family. This one man created all this. He has 39 wives, 94 children, and 33 grandchildren. I'm sorry, but I think we have found a new face for the Giga Chad meme. This is what a true Giga Chad actually looks like. How do you just casually obtain 39 wives? Can you imagine that child support? In 2017, a 10-year-old Florida girl, of course, fought off an alligator attack by sticking her 2 fingers up the 9-foot-long beast's nose, which forced the animal to open its mouth to breathe. As it did so, the little girl freed her leg and escaped. She had learned the trick from Gatorland. This is why Florida people are so crazy, is because they're constantly having to fight off alligator attacks. We're just lucky Florida hasn't invaded us all yet. I always just thought about taking my thumb and jamming it into its eyes. I know that's what you're supposed to do with sharks, but I don't know about gators. I don't even know if I'd be able to find its nose. These little creatures are evil. Giant whale approaches an unsuspecting paddleboarder. That's not just like any small paddleboard either. Look how huge that thing is. It began interacting with the woman on board. See, again, I don't know why we're just casually accepting the fact that, you know, whales are a thing and that we should like whales. I think we should, you know, leave whales alone, but this lady's way too calm. Have you ever seen a whale like jump out of the ocean and just like belly flop back down? What if it just did that right now? I guess the whale was intentionally trying to get her attention. I feel like it's gonna bump her. Yeah, I'd be all right. I think at this point, if it was just swimming under me, I'd be like, all right, I've had enough. Yep, there it is. There's the bump. Okay, now this whale is trying to get some food. This whale trying to get some man flesh on the menu. Oh no. Don't do that. Oh, then he's pulling up with his homies. Now you got 2. He's bringing some backup. Everyone thinks this is just some nice, wholesome interaction, but in reality, this is like the whales telling this lady, never come here again, motherfucker. And big thanks to the October patrons: Majestic Unicorn, Papi Druwu, I Love Marks, Drew's Thick Breaks and Girlfriend, Drew's Argentinian Grandpa, AryanAfterHours, BringBackPolandball, Alfonso M6, Barnsky W, Dalton D, Send Nic, Ivan Lima, Jesse C, LuxembourgLover, Max Cooper, McBlorf, Mind Brothers 999X2, and Stormtrooper 501. Thank you.